Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Are we live? Yeah, I think we're live. How's everybody? Let me just post this one on LinkedIn so we ready to go. Here we go, we're live. So we are at the end. We are finally at the end of season 2, and we had amazing guests in this season. We are planning something really, really special. With not one, not two, not three, but 4 podcasts in one episode. We have Ron and Chris from the Hacker Valley studio that has been one of our guests. We have Alan Alford that is with his new podcast coming in. And then we have Ajay Rajan that has come from the sister podcast on the Cybersecurity and Cloud podcast. Is the cloud security podcast down in Australia. So we have 3 different time zones. Believe me, guys, it was quite complicated to put it together. To find the exact time zone where all we can talk together at the same time. But yeah, it's been quite of a season. It's been quite of a roller coaster of people that we had. So just list a few names that have been on this season and has made this season great. But first of all, I thank everybody that has made this season amazing. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey. We went from the Mentoring Monday, that was the original, how this podcast was originally called. There was a small and private call that then went into a more podcast form, and then now is a full-fledged podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and so on. And we went from roughly 250 last year, small calls, private rooms, into now we are 10,000 downloads in less than 6 months. So wow, it's been an amazing journey. We are planning for season 3, so expect more and more names to drop in and more things. We're gonna probably focus much more on AppSec and CloudSec, but it's a cybersecurity and cloud podcast, so we focus on all things cyber. And as this season, we had OSINT, we had cloud security, we had application security, we had OWASP, we have CISOs. Security is a big space, so we want to be inclusive, and we want to talk about anything cybersecurity, so we contain for every audience, from a technical audience to a more executive audience. But just to recap some of the amazing guests that we had. More recently, we had Sam Stepanian, that is from OWASP London. We talked a lot about application security and launching your own application security program. We had also Martin Knobloch, that is from Micro Focus, and also an OWASP member, previous board member. Again, we dived in how he moved from development into security. We had the amazing Clint Kibler that has done so many amazing presentation on how to run your application security program. We had Vandana Verma again from OWASP board, that has done so many presentation about how to use your open source tools and open source arsenal, and how to effectively kickstart your application security program in your DevSecOps program with open source tools. And we're going to talk more about that. And then we had 2 or 3, not 4. We're going to have more and more episodes with the fantastic Eddie Jaud. And we did how developer and security fight with each other constantly. And we saw how effectively two worlds can come together. And Then we had a more executive view with Caleb Sima, the ex-VP of security for Databricks and now CISO of Robinhood. We saw how he moved from a very technical role to a more executive role. And then we had also another amazing executive like Alan Alford is going to join us today with a podcast, and how effectively you can have a CISO that do podcast and talk to everybody about cyber. Matt Stumper, Gary Heislip as well. They wrote 3 or 4, no, I think 5 amazing book on how to build a culture and how to start a security strategy program with this CISO handbook. And particular thanks to Gary and Matt Stompa that when I was in LA, they give me the signed book, and it was during COVID, so we ended up having it shipped. So thank you so much, Matt, for that. A little bit of a side joke. And then again, on the executive perspective, we had John Kinsella join us to talk about, he joined from another podcast that is the Application Security Weekly, where they talk about application security, everything. But John joins us from is one of the ex-executive to Qualys, and we talk a lot about application security and how to build an application security program and how to embed effective security in whatever you do. And then we had a little bit more the UK community, which like more Dorset Police, hashtag Surfer Police. And we had Cian John from Microsoft coming in, and we went all the way back to networking and what zero day was actually in the very, very early days. And then we moved to more the OSINT aspect, so the open source intelligent network and social engineering with Chris Hadnaki, that is the king of social engineering and amazing personality. Also, Innocent Life Foundation is big contributor on that. So if you don't know, please go and visit the Innocent Life Foundation. They're also doing an award right now, the Unintelligent Award. And then staying on the social engineering, we had Joe Gray, and from the US perspective, and Cyber from the Many Hat Clubs, that is the more UK community of social engineering. But we have many more. I mean, the list doesn't end. We had, I think we just shy of 45 episodes these seasons compared to the 10 last season. So it's been, I had amazing guests. Really, I'm really proud of starting this podcast and having all these amazing guests in the podcast. We had Tanya Janka as well coming and talking about application security. In the previous season, we had Jim Manico talking about application security. So you can see my passion about OWASP and application security. We also had, the Tribe of Hacker. We had Tom Langford. We have Redacted with, again, the Tribe of Hacker podcast. We had amazing people that formed this amazing community. And I really wish you can join us today for 2 p.m. UK time for the conclusion of this amazing season with this amazing guest. And I am honored to have had this conversation with all these amazing people. And I hope you can enjoy, and let me know who you want to see in the next season, because we're putting together the roster of the next guest list. But yeah, a big thanks to all of you that have been listening to us. This is Francesco Cipollone, your host of the Cybersecurity and Cloud podcast. Stay safe and stay cyber safe. Goodbye.